Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Wednesday, 5th March 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. St. Lucia's Prime Minister warned NDC supporters in Grenada of movements in the region to divide and not unite the region. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. During the National Democratic Congress NDC convention in Grenada last Sunday, Prime Minister of St. Lucia Philip J. Pierre warned against movements attempting to divide the Caribbean. In his address, Pierre reaffirmed that Labour parties prioritize the well-being of the people and urged unity across the region. He also commended Grenadian Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell and highlighted the importance of solidarity in advancing the region's collective welfare. Zane Romulus of the DBS News World reports.
This is the first time I find myself in yellow and I feeling happy.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre addressing a gathering in Grenada during the convention of the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. In his speech, he commended the efforts and accomplishments of Grenadian Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, particularly highlighting Mitchell's contributions at the regional level. During his address, Prime Minister Pierre also emphasized the importance of unity among Caribbean nations, urging the NDC supporters to be vigilant against movements and agendas that seek to create divisions within the region.
I never want you to be complacent and say you've won elections. Because the people who are against progress, they are uniting so that they can defeat the march of the people. So you must be vigilant. You must understand that what we have ahead of us is very difficult. What we have ahead of us are people who do not want unity in the Caribbean. There are people who do not understand that we must build societies of meritocracy. We must build societies where every man and woman, regardless of where he comes from, must have a hope of a better life in this country.
Prime Minister Pierre expressed his belief that the Labour parties across the Caribbean are the only advocates for the welfare and advancement of their respective populations. Pierre encouraged the audience to rally together and to do everything within their power to ensure that the NDC remains a strong and governing force in Grenada.
They don't like me to say that. They don't like me to say that. I say to the people of St. Lucia, secure the victory. So I want you to Grenada to do what? Secure the victory. Because it's the victory against unemployment, the victory against crime, the victory against a better education, the victory for the people of Grenada, the people of Dominica, and the people of St. Lucia. So work hard. Work hard to secure that victory. Do not let your heart be troubled by the nonsense you hear from other places. Our parties are the parties that have a vision for the future. Our parties are the parties that understand that you cannot live a society where one set of people have everything, every privilege, and another set of people have nothing.
Prime Minister Pierre also took a moment to recognize and voice his admiration for another regional leader, Dominican Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who was also present at the NDC convention. For the DBS News World, Zaid Romulus reporting.
The ambitious 25 by 2025 initiative, aimed at cutting the region's massive food import bill by 25% this year, has now been extended to 2030. CARICOM's lead head on agriculture, Guyanese President Dr. Irfan Ali, says the decision comes as the region battles global trade uncertainties, climate challenges, and rising costs, including the impact of the U.S. bird flu outbreak on food prices. Dr. Ali highlights key instruments in food production and infrastructure, but stresses the need for stronger strategies to withstand future shocks. DBS's Miriam Montoot fills us in.
The 25 by 2025 initiative is an initiative to reduce the region's over $6 billion food import bill by 25% by the end of this year. However, the initiative has been extended to 2030 with new goals. This extension was announced by Guyanese President Dr. Irfan Ali, the lead head of government with responsibility for agriculture and food security in the CARICOM Quasi-Cabinet. The reason for the extension is uncertainties in the global trade arena, increased challenges in climate-related matters, and increased transportation and logistics costs.
2024 would have seen major impact in the region as food prices for cereals, meat, dairy, vegetable oil, and raw sugar increase significantly on the global market. Of course, we import those increases, we import those inflation, and we have to manage within that context. However, 2025 is adding a lot of worry to the situation.
Dr. Ali gave an example by highlighting the current bird flu outbreak in the U.S., which has impacted the cost and production of eggs and poultry meat, thus increasing costs across the region. Dr. Ali says that the region will face this and other challenges in the first half of this year, and that a strategy must be created to withstand these challenges.
Given the current situation, we have established a holistic framework through which the industry and the food system must be built to ensure resilience, sustainability, and competitiveness. We also want to build a food system which encourages young people and women to participate.
President Ali says that from the year 2022 to the end of October-November 2024, there has been about a 24% increase in food production across the region. Additionally, he says that there has also been major investments in infrastructure to support food production in areas such as cold storage, farm-to-market access roads, solar dryer facilities, loan approvals, and establishment of dairy facilities. Moreover, he says there has been private sector investment and lending in the agriculture sector and the food production chain within the region. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The team investigating the alleged role that suspended Commissioner of Police of Trinidad and Tobago Erla Harewood Christopher would have played in the importation of 2 sniper rifles that were later sent to the Strategic Services Agency sometime in late 2023 has been instructed to continue their inquiries. Details in this TV6 News item.
Last week, TV6 News reported that the team of investigators had visited the office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gaspard, for legal advice on how to proceed against Harewood Christopher. The team left and was told a decision would be made soon. Well, this morning during a press briefing held at the Police Administration building in Port of Spain, Acting Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin confirmed that the team headed by Deputy Commissioner of Police Suzette Martin has been given further instructions by Gaspard.
As the process would always be where we go to the DPP and we get the advice, we would continue our investigations, and then based on our investigation, we would return to the DPP. We are in that process. The process continues where we we are doing our part now in terms of further advice that was given to us, and we are working on that as we speak. And when we finish, we would return to the DPP to see to get further advice on the matter. So that's where we are.
Police are trying to determine if there was any wrongdoing by Haywood Christopher, and if so, if it constitutes misbehavior in public office. And even as investigators continue, the police service may look at other charges. Haywood Christopher was detained at her office at the Police Administration Building on January 30th by a team of detectives headed by Deputy Commissioner Suzette Martin. Haywood was questioned for 2 days and was eventually released from the St. Clair Police Station on February 1st. However, while she was in custody on January 31st, the Police Service Commission placed Haywood Christopher on suspension with immediate effect. Following her release, Haywood Christopher's lead attorney, Pamela Elder, SC, said there was not an iota of evidence for her client to be charged with any offense.
In the meantime, the state of Trinidad and Tobago has decided to scrap its probe of Auditor General Jaiwanti Ramdas as it relates to the $2.6 billion understatement in the public accounts for financial year 2023. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News has the details.
The Cabinet will no longer be proceeding with the terms of reference in relation to Auditor General Jaiwanti Ramdas in its investigation into the $2.6 billion understatement in revenue in 2023. According to the Office of the Attorney General, the Cabinet-appointed committee, which was set up on May 7th, 2024, to look into what transpired, was also tasked with examining Ramdas's response to public officials, the action taken by her in relation to the understatement, and the facts pertaining to the allegations made by her. The AG's office notes the Privy Council's ruling on January 28th, giving Ramdas the green light to proceed with her judicial review proceedings concerning the state's investigation in relation to her. But it says, during the past 10 months, the committee continued its work in accordance with the unaffected aspects of the terms of reference. The final report has been submitted with respect to the permitted terms of reference, which, according to the AG's office, has, quote, adequately identified the contributing factors to the revenue understatement and provided recommendations to strengthen financial oversight, and will be receiving from the Minister of Finance a note with suggestions and recommendations, end quote. The AG's office says, as such, the court matter between Ramdas, Minister of Finance Coleman Byrd, and the Cabinet will no longer inform the issues already addressed by the investigative committee's findings, while incurring further legal costs and judicial time while these proceedings are ongoing. Ramdas's attorney, Anand Ramlogan Senior Counsel, responding to the new developments, says, quote, we are pleased that the government has finally capitulated in this matter. Ms. Ramdas stands tall and proud as an example to all independent public officers. We will carefully assess the terms of the government's concession in this matter to determine whether it amounts to appropriate vindication to her rights, end quote. Ramlogan states that while it addresses the judicial review aspects of her claims, it does not do the same pertaining to Ramdas's claims of breach of her constitutional rights, bullying, intimidation, and harassment. The senior counsel notes that Ramdas sought a declaration that her fundamental right to protection of the law was violated and damages. In this regard, he says, quote, we are interested to know whether the government will also defend that matter all the way to the Privy Council, or whether this concession equally applies to her constitutional claim, end quote. Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.